Angel Reese.
I don't really get to speak out on things just because I just try to ignore, and I just try to stand strong. Like, I've been through so much. I've seen so much. I've been attacked so many times. Death threats. I've been sexualized. I've been threatened. I've been so many things, and I've stood strong.
And Caitlin Clark.
I have this amazing platform, so I think the biggest thing would be just encourage people to register to vote. I think for myself, it's the second time I can vote in an election. At age 22, I could vote when I was 18. So I think do that. That's the biggest thing I can do with the platform that I have. And that's the same thing Taylor did.
Has shown the rivalry has simply carried over from college. Recall, though, when this happened.
This was, I don't think you know about this, but this was just posted online by a woman you might have heard of whose name is Taylor Swift. And she has posted this online along with a photo of her cat. And I'm going to read to you what she just posted. Like many of you, I watched the debate tonight. If you haven't already, now is a great time to do your research on the issues at hand and the stances these candidates take on the topics that matter to you the most. As a voter, I make sure to watch and read everything I can about their proposed policies and plans for this country. Recently, I was made aware that AI of me, quote me, falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run was posted to his site. It really conjured up my fears around AI and the dangers of spreading misinformation. It brought me to the conclusion that I need to be very transparent about my actual plans for this election as a voter. The simplest way to combat misinformation is with the truth. Then she says, quote, I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we're led by calm and not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of running mate Tim Walz, who has been standing up for LGBTQ plus rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body for decades. I've done my research, and I've made my choice. Your research is all yours to do, and the choice is yours to make. I also want to say, especially to first-time voters, remember that in order to vote, you have to be registered. I also find it's much easier to vote early. I will link where to register and find early voting dates and info in my story. With love and hope, Taylor Swift, signed Childless Cat Lady.
We would learn a lot in the wake of this news. Recently, though, Angel Reese commented on a TikTok post from user The Luncheon Lawyer. Here that is.
Oh, I am all in white people's business this week. Like, first Taylor Swift, now Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin Clark liked the Taylor Swift post. You know, the Taylor Swift post. And baby, all of a sudden, all of her alleged fans are withdrawing support. Like, they wanted her to be the face of racism so bad. Whole time, she just wanted to play basketball, get her sponsorships, and go home. Like, turns out she doesn't want to be the brand ambassador for hatred. And this really confirms that a lot of people were never Caitlin fans. You were just Angel Reese haters. Let me say it again. You were never a Caitlin fan. You were an Angel Reese hater. You didn't care about Caitlin Clark's skills. You like the fact that she was a white woman performing exceptionally well in a sport dominated by black women. So instead of appreciating Caitlin for being an incredible, talented player, it was all about being anti-Angel Reese. That's not weird to y'all? Y'all think that's weird? Anyway, I know Caitlin wanted to tell y'all in her comment section that it's not an airport. You don't need to announce your departure, but you know, she kept it cute as a sponsored, well-paid, talented WNBA.
Where Reese comes into the story is this. Via MAGA, you left no crumbs, she wrote, indicating her agreement with the video's perspective. This response has provoked a strong backlash, with critics accusing Reese of promoting divisive and harmful rhetoric. No. And whoever the writer is should be ashamed of this, because this is operating in bad faith. The usual suspects were at it, like Clay Travis's outkick.
Clay's such a fraud. He literally told me back in like 2015, he's like, there's no market out there right now for right-wing sports. He's like, so I'm going to just start like becoming a right-wing sports. He told me what he was going to do.
My question to you guys, where have all y'all been? Seriously. Angel Reese has touched on this on her podcast. We have seen how many other WNBA players responded when Kathy Engelbert was asked a question about revenue. And she was asked a question about how there is racist, xenophobic, misogynistic, anti-gay rhetoric when it comes to the rivalry between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark? How do you plan on protecting them and other athletes within your sport? And she was the one who said, well, revenue has never been higher. Rivalries make sports. Larry Bird and Magic Johnson laid the groundwork for this to happen. Our athletes are getting brand deals, sponsorship deals. We're selling out arenas. And she kept going to revenue. And that is when many WNBA athletes said, hey, enough. You were asked about our players being mistreated, and all you could talk about is dollars and cents. That's a preposterous way of thinking about this. Previously, in case writers like the ones at MAGA have not been paying attention, Reese voiced that she does not believe Clark has any hatred towards her, nor does she have hatred for Clark. She did, though, acknowledge feeling a lack of respect by some of Clark's supporters. Sometimes it's very disrespectful, Reese said. I think there's a lot of racism when it comes to it, and I don't believe she stands on any of that. So, in case we're lacking media literacy here, she is saying she has no animosity towards Caitlin Clark. Let's dispel that, because I continue seeing this circulated on Musk's free speech platform. She then says she doesn't believe that Caitlin Clark endorses any of this, which, by the way, Clark made clear, quote, everybody in our world deserves the same amount of respect. The women in our league deserve the same amount of respect. So people should not be using my name to push those agendas. So she made it clear. And thus, when she favorited or liked the Taylor Swift Instagram post, her Instagram comments were filled with hate from MAGA, which showed a lot. Thus, it led to this video. So if we are covering all of our bases here by saying we know that Caitlin Clark is not a bigot, she doesn't endorse bigotry, it's the biggest issue is that some that were just coming into being basketball fans saw an opportunity to anoint a white knight. And they thought that she was game, probably because, number one, she is Caucasian, and number two, she's from Iowa. Both of those being clear, ill-informed, misguided approaches into anointing her what they thought she would be when she is not. And quite frankly, let me be clear about this. If her liking that Taylor Swift post drives out the racist fans, you know who would benefit the most? Their fellow players. Their mindsets, their mental health, the product overall. Angel Reese had doctored AI nude photos of her surface. What do you think that would do to you if that happened? She had people follow her to her house. What do you think that would do to you if that were to happen? Another teammate was told that from the fan, they hope her tumor comes back. What would you do about that? And this all happened within the last few months. There is a cause and effect. So Caitlin Clark coming out and saying this, a positive. Angel Reese standing on business and saying, I don't think Caitlin Clark endorses this, but this is a problem that a lot of us are suffering from. And clearly the commissioner doesn't have their back. So it's up to the players. It's up to the union to have protections in place and also root out the racism. These are only big steps in the right direction. But yet, what do we hear from the Outkicks and others? What do we hear? Angel Reese endorsed racist message. No. That is coming from the corner of white fragility. If you think that that was a racist message and that upsets you, hard, long look in the mirror. The problem is a lot of conservatives don't believe in that. They don't believe in self-preservation. They don't believe in trying to have a better understanding of the world. They have a victim complex. And the outcry from Reese leaving that comment says it all. If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. And or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.